Mic check 1 2, and we are live. Bronze Dragon here, episode 145 of the Saturday morning stand up, where of course we talk Splinterlands. Everything Splinterlands, everything you wanted to know but were afraid to ask. Really, just what we've been doing in game, and what is new in the game is on the topic table today. I saw that OFG Plays had a live stream earlier. Unfortunately, I was not able to view it. A new type of live stream, a competition of sorts, Jeopardy style. So I will have to go back and try to catch the replay. I'm interested to see who won that. Yeah, I think we can talk about whatever is going on this week. The last couple days, to tell you the truth, I have not really been concentrating on a whole lot of Splinterlands because we're up here in the northeast of the United States. I think a lot of the United States is getting hit by a storm this weekend, a winter storm. And yesterday I was in and out trying to prepare for the storm. I had to go out and get my snowblower fired up and make sure it worked, which it does, but I've got a small gas line leak, so I have to track that down, but it's working and I'll be able to use it. Had to clear some ice out of the gutter, stuff like that. So we're getting ready to get hit hard and heavy this weekend. More than a foot of snow is anticipated around the Philadelphia area where I'm at. So if you're in the path of that storm, get your preparations done and say a prayer. I've got to go out and fill up my Bronco with some gas today, and my wife's going to kind of try to brave the grocery store to get some groceries in, just because, Saturdays, Sundays are normal grocery day anyway, but we got to be prepared to, spend 3 or 4 days in the house, however long it takes. So hopefully, crossing fingers, it doesn't get hit too bad, but the way they're blowing it up on the Weather Channel, all hell's going to cut loose. So either way, that's what I've been doing this past week. As usual, I'm concentrating on land. I filtered some, I had bought 3 new common totems the week before, or last week, and I was able to cycle them in on some lands. Of course, as you know, since we've started talking about land 2 years ago, I've been concentrating on the grain producing lands, and I put it's been a while since I put videos out on it, but strategy behind equalizing your land so you have enough grain to pay for everything else you're producing. So kind of, you don't have to go out on the market and buy grain every day or whenever you want to harvest. So that's still my strategy. I have some other lands doing other stuff. The only thing I don't have in production is stone at this point. We can take a look at that here a little bit later, but I was able to cycle in a few cards and I brought on 1 extra plot of land online this past week, gathering, we'll get to chat here in a minute, but gathering pinged me in Discord. I was at work. He's like, hey, you got to check out these plots of land. They're in one of your regions, and it's a great price on them. I'm like, okay, I'll check them out when I get home, because I had no way to buy the plots whenever I was at work. By the time I got home, the plots of land were bought up. I think if you've been following the land game and or the market, all the prices have went up as far as I'm mainly paying attention to plots that are grain producing. So everything has went up. We'll take a look at that here in a minute, but let's go ahead and jump in chat, see what everybody's about now. And as always, my question today is, just let me know what you've been up into Splinterlands this week, whether you've pulled a good card from a pack or from a chest. I did get a beaver card this week, so I know it's just a rare, but I was kind of excited that I got some beaver, and it was out of my chest that I got for my account for going into the Champ 3 level. So it's been a while since I got a decent card. If you call a rare a decent card, it's unlocked, so that's a good thing, I think. I'd have to check again. Hey, Yves is in the house. Welcome, Yves. Thanks for dropping by. OFG Plays is here. Said, bought some more land plots. Grain plot prices are rising, and that they are, because I just checked right before we went live. And let's go ahead and do the refresh over here on Peak Monsters. And let's sort by grain. And you can see that the commons are now base going for about $25. Okay. And check this out. If you jump up to rares, they're up around $43. So the grain plots are definitely going up in price. None of this is investment advice. In fact, I think I'm happy where I'm at, seeing where the prices are going. However, if you've been playing land game as long as I have, you know these prices originally were higher than this. So when land first came out, the plots were $80, $100, you know. So, yeah. So this does not surprise me. I'm not saying this is a great investment as far as investments go. I play this just from the land production, resource production type of perspective. I do have a fair amount of money in the game. We can take a look at what I currently have. Excuse me, I'm drinking a Starbucks iced energy, which I don't think, it's a blueberry lemonade. And generally I like lemonade flavors of stuff because I like lemonade. But I don't think, I got this because it was on sale on Amazon. I don't think I'm going to buy them again because it's really, really sweet. But I'm trying to use them up. Okay, so what I have, and then we'll jump back into chat here in a minute. I'm currently at 28 plots now, okay? And they exist in 114, and 133. So one I just picked up because I found some deals on a couple different days. And they are just generally 3 rivers and 2 forests. They're all rares. And once again, my perspective was to build the grain base. So my 3 rivers produce plenty of grain, enough to be enough grain to feed all of this, including the 2 forests I have producing wood. Now, in Tostrington, I have, if I can switch back over to Tostrington, I have a few more plots. I have a magic rare in this region, and I have my only epic, which happens to be a caldera and is currently producing some ore. And once again, I have this balanced out to where all the grain producing 1, 2, 3, 4 grain farms are producing enough grain for all these plots, including a logging camp, an ore mine, and an ore lab. Now, just to kind of, I know I'm kicking this horse, but I've heard it talked about lately. And people poo-pooed me when I was doing these videos 2 years ago when land came out, and Gathering and I were talking about the whole equalization, in other words, being able to make yourself sufficient. And people were like, oh, blah, 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 you're just going into that too much. Guess what? Here we are. 2 years later, we're getting ready to look at what's going to be worked on this year and how buildings will affect the whole game. And people are right back to, hey, maybe we should be self-sufficient with growing grain. Well, no kidding. So anyway, I'm over here on Ravenwood, which is my 3rd region, and I've got a bunch of plots, mostly because I've found these for good deals at times. And once again, I have 1 Aura Lab going here. I have a bunch of grain farms, few logging camps, and a few ore mines. Now, not hugely, most of these are mostly, let's take a look at the production page. That's an easier way to look at it. So, you know, you can see, you know, most of these are well staked out. I have 4 that are not staked out or anything is on them because I picked these up relatively recently, within the last month and a half, and I haven't done anything with them. But I do plan on cycling in cards. So that's where I stand on land. And let's go back into chat. Crypto Beaver's here. Good morning. Paul is in the house. Welcome, Paul. Bolts 85. Bottom of the morning to you. I guess that's one way to put it. It's almost afternoon. 20 minutes here. and it'll be an afternoon. Gathering the Magic is here. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Splinterlands Jeopardy was a ton of fun. Hope to see new contestants next week. Yeah, I'm interested. I saw that pop up in my feed yesterday, announced I think Dave announced it. I'm looking over here. Yeah, Dave announced it. In fact, the other announcement I'll bring up is that we could talk about, but I don't think it's worth a whole lot of talk, is about the credits. Now you're just going to be paying a little bit extra fee for buying credits. Credits are, like I said in chat, really the buying of credits in game has really kept me in the game due to the hoops and the extra fees involved. And I'm not saying that I don't like crypto. I think we're all here because for the most part, we like the idea of crypto, right? And I mined, before I played Web3 games, I mined crypto in my basement, right? So I like the whole idea. But from a game perspective and being appealing to a mass populace, you have to make it easy to get into the game and to buy stuff, right? So that's what credits do in Splinterlands. You can buy from PayPal, your credit card, whatever. However, those of you who are familiar with running a small business or even a medium or large business that uses credit card machines, you know they're not free to use. You know that the bank on the other side, whoever you're paying to use that with, charges a fee. Now, why I bring that up is because that's kind of like the idea of the conversion of the credits, where the team was previously paying for that. So in my mind, they're very similar. So no longer is the team going to be footing that bill. If you want to buy credits, it's just going to cost a little bit more because there's going to be a small surcharge. However, I would argue that just going out and getting the DEC or SPS, whatever you wanted to go ahead and bring it into game to convert and buy stuff, you'd be probably paying that 7% or whatever the percentage was he stated anyway, for all the different conversions and transferring it here and there. So that's my feeling on that. But I brought that up because that was another news event along with OFG Play's new series of shows, I guess. I don't know. Is it going to be a series? Splinterlands Jeopardy. I don't know if you guys want to spoil who won, but if you want to, let us know who won in the chat. Let us know. I don't know really how Twitch works. Can you go back and watch a replay? I would like to watch a replay, but it was at 8 o'clock this morning, my time. And at that point, I've got like this series of things I've got to do on a Saturday morning right before my show. And they involve mostly working out and getting some chores done. And it didn't really fit in. So, hey, Karen's here. Welcome, Karen. Hope everything's going well on your side. Supreme Victory Studios is here as well. OFG says, I've got to try one of those mic checks. Yeah, I was recording a video, and in fact, I haven't gotten around to redoing it. It was a Splinterlands related video talking about land. But I did this whole video. It was the beginning of last week or the week before. And you know as well as I do, whenever you do these videos take me 3 to 4 hours to put together, right? Including the recording, editing, all this. And I had done a whole episode without turning my mic on. So there's nothing really you can do. I mean, you could do it and try to go back and voice over it, which doesn't look good to me. And so I just deleted it all, and I still have the script for it, and I need to redo it. The idea is people asking, hey, I'm new to the game. I would like to start playing land. Where should I start? That was the approach for that episode. Gathering says no spoilers. Hey, Lady Sharon is here. Welcome, Sharon. Thanks for dropping by. Says, good morning. I hope everyone in the States, especially in the path of this snow ice storm, is keeping warm. Wow, yeah, it's getting ready to hit. And I just saw something on Facebook that listed some part of Canada is the coldest point on the earth. I don't know in all, the coldest point on earth at -50 Celsius. Around here, it's been hovering around that freezing point most of the week. Today, it was like 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's just going to continue to get worse tonight and Sunday. I think most places around the Philly area are planning to kind of be closed Monday. I know my dentist, I had a dentist appointment. They called me and said they have to reschedule. In fact, I have to call them back. Gathering says, just cold here, no snow, low teens all week. Yeah, I think there's a big storm that was pulling through the Midwest. I know my family is in Indiana, and there's a huge storm pulling through there, and I'm thinking that's exactly what's heading for us. I don't know, though. My wife likes watching the Weather Channel a lot, so I'll walk through the living room, and the Weather Channel will be on TV. That or a Korean soap opera drama. They're up there. My wife and daughter are trying to get tickets now to there's a Korean, I hate to say it's boy band because they're no longer boys. They're like in their upper 20s now, but I forget the name of it. They're trying to get tickets. They're coming to the area well, I guess it's this year now, but they're like number thousands in line trying to wait for tickets. They're very popular. I don't get it, but girls and women kind of like these, I guess, very attractive guys who know how to sing, I guess. Lady Sharon says, it's cold in Colorado, but not snowing. I have extra blankets in the bed, and kitties help. As far as Splinterlands goes, I did actually stream last night, but very late. Yeah, I saw you chatting on. It was one of the chats talking about timing. About the best thing I can tell everyone who streams from years of doing this is pick a time and a day of the week, or it could be multiple days. Some people do multiple days, depending upon how much extra time you have during the week. And just make that your time and have it a set time so that people know you're going to be streaming. So that's how you develop a following, right? And I watch tons of these videos on YouTube, and I know I'm not a big YouTuber, but I've been doing, this is episode 145. So, yeah. So pick a time and date, or pick a time and day of the week and stick with it. Even if it's multiple days, depending upon how much time you have, and go for it and advertise that way on your socials, or, create a social for whatever your brand is, depending upon how deep you want to get into it. Crypto Beaver says, been playing Frontier mode a lot lately, hoping the new cards or pack type to be added to Frontier and the campaign chapter 2 to be available soon. Let's pull up the game website. I had a problem. I had a problem with, I think it was Brave, the browser, this week. And the add-on that logged in to Hive. Oh, this is the wrong website. I wanted Splinterlands, not Splinter Cards. Yeah, so there for several days, I was not able to... the transactions on the Hive blockchain would not go through in my browser. So I usually use Brave, but I had to go over to Chrome and start doing it, which is weird because Brave is a Chromium browser, right? So, and I only have one energy. I had pumped up my my bot usage. I used the Archmage bot, pumped it up to use up my energy. Okay, let's look at season activity. Let's see here. Loss. Bunch of losses. A few wins. Let's watch the last. Hey, I'm on. You know what I've noticed? A lot of people, I've been playing a lot of people that have done nothing with their exemplar. Just like I play people that are like level 1 exemplars. Actually, I almost skipped what Sharon said. In fact, I'm doing unusually good in the latest Friday Wild tournament. Nice. I won 6, lost 1, and have 4 where the other person hasn't played yet. Sounds like you're doing pretty good. Bolt says, what I am up to in Splinterlands, trying to grind in Modern with 30 card rentals with 2 Archons. Oh, how's it going? I don't rent a whole lot of cards. I like the idea that we can make money off of renting our cards out and stuff like that. It's just I've always, and I know there's plenty of people out there that rent cards and play with them. Hey, I think it's great. I just have always been from the mind frame of if I like a card, I'm going to buy it and just play with it, or buy it and put it on land or whatever. I know I was watching a video earlier from Aftersound, and he was talking about his land strategy and renting out cards to put on land. And I was like, I wouldn't have done that. But everybody's got a different strategy, right? There's no saying, which is better and which is worse. I've just always been like, I just don't like that whole. I guess they've made it easier where when you rent it for a season instead of going in on a daily basis. And I what I used to hate was you're renting a card on a daily basis and then somebody goes in and cancels that card on you. So a lot of that stuff has been streamlined, but I still just buy cards. Now, with that said, if it's an expensive card, I don't know why I'm sitting on this this page. If it's an expensive card, I will go in and I'll rent it to try it out to see if it works or plays at how I think it's going to play, or to see if it's what kind of value it brings to my deck. Because you can say, hey, this is a great card, but if you don't have the right supporting cards to go along with it, it may not be as great in your deck as it is in somebody else's deck. So a card is usually only as strong as the supporting you cards you have to make that work out, right? So Sharon goes on to say, I really should buy some Chaos cards now that I'm on a computer. It would be interesting to try different card markets if you can buy packs there too. You can. In fact, you can buy packs over on Peak Monsters. Just go under, let's see here. More? Okay, here it is. Asset Market. Okay, this is the Asset Market tab, and then you can find the packs that you want. A lot of other stuff. I think they need to let's go ahead and click the packs only. Here are the packs, and then you can buy them off of here. Or Monster Market. I like Monster Market. I like Monster Market because they give you just straight DEC back, not just Peak Monster tokens. I do like Peak Monsters, don't get me wrong. I think they've built a great interface. But I like to get straight DEC back. SPS lands. I thought they had packs. Okay, it's under items. This could use a little bit of streamlining. Maybe they don't have packs. Maybe that's the one thing they don't have. This definitely needs some streamlining. Okay, so under items, they do not have packs. That's the one thing that Peak Monster or a Monster Market does not. So you can go under Peak Monsters and sort by packs and look at it. Let's see here. Foundation packs. The lowest for sale is at like almost 10 cents, right around 10 cents. Chaos Legion packs are sitting at right at about just under 37 cents. And it just depends upon what you want. Let's see. What are alchemy packs? Conclave Arcana alchemy packs are going for $8.15. So it just really depends upon what you want. Gathering says, I'm thinking of swapping some DEC for iron. I think iron will be a key resource for building. I think you'll need all the different resources. But you'd have to look at the percentage of what's... I would say that somebody's probably got a tool that does it. Can you see my dog? My dog is sitting down there. She's on stream with me today, but she's not doing anything. She's just laying there because my wife and daughter are upstairs. She likes to hang out with people, and she's like, "Can I hang out with you?" So I'm like, "Sure, come on in here." I'm not doing anything but talking to a screen. But as far as the iron goes, I think you'd have to look at the numbers. Somebody's got a tool that would say, hey, is there more iron being produced or more wood being produced? Because I think we're going to need them both. Logic would tell me that if there was a lot fewer people producing iron, then that might be the better thing to buy because then it might be worth more. Not investment advice, just strategic advice, right? So let me know if you come up with anything, or of course put a video out on it. Be a good topic. Bolt says, well, fellas, interested in some land, I got the connect. We got keeps, legendaries, epics, magics, 100 plus plots. You have 100 plus plots? Wow. I'm holding my shoulder. My rotator cuff is hurting. I changed up my exercise routine this week, and my rotator cuff is a little bit sore, which is not good going into a few days where I'll probably have to shovel snow. Sharon says, oh man, playing catch up. I was watching various weather streams on YouTube, and yeah, people are clearing out the grocery store, so good luck to your wife. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's jokes about it, but this is usually when we do our grocery shopping, so I mean, she'll probably just go try to get some basics. We're pretty lean around here. We've got a good, a well-stocked pantry. So we learned that during COVID. We stock stuff now that we never used to stock, like dried milk, so that in case you run out of milk and you want to mix up some milk, stuff like that. We stock some different stuff like dried coffee as well in case we run out of regular coffee. Things that we never used to really before COVID hit. We learned off of that. But yeah, I'm sure that the stores will be packed this morning earlier, and it'll probably fall off because I'm imagining the stores will close off later in the day. Gathering says, hook me up with plots in 43 bolts. Oh, we got some land deals going on. Wibble says, pretty much all grain now turned me wood into and iron plots off. Okay. So you're going all grain and turned iron off and wood off. I've just kind of got everything going. I think, I need to pick my phrase. Let me go in here and do this because I always, no, I don't want that one. I thought that was a regular phrase. No, that's one of the new ones. I can't do modern. The last few phrases, I've had to pick something that I could not do well in. I do well in silver or gold, just kind of wild. Hey, Arbin's here. Welcome, Arbin. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going on well on your side. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I had to pick that up and I completely forgot. Hey, I got over 1 million glint. Let's go in the store. Let's pick out rewards. Hey, let's do a chest. Let's do an ultimate chest. Just for fun. Just for funsies. Nice. Shadow Comb, Dusk Rose. I like cards with charge. I do. I like, can use melee attacks from any position. I've got a few of this lady. I don't know if I have enough to level up, though. She is death. And I guess she would be under extra. Yeah, here we go. I got 4. Not quite enough. I need 1 more to level up. And then she picks up a health. That's a big axe she's got. I said axe, A-X-E. I gotta let my dog out because my wife's downstairs now. When there's ever a chance between, whenever there's a choice between hanging with me and hanging with my wife, my dog always picks my wife. Hey, thanks for the super chat sticker, Arbin. Greatly appreciate those who support the channel, who are members or support through doing super chats or stickers. As you all know, YouTube algorithm changes have brought down the amount we can actually make on YouTube. So this direct support definitely helps out. And for those who are members of the channel, or if you want to become a member, this Friday is our January members only chat session, live session. So see you there. Okay, let's jump back in chat. Trying to find out where I was left in chat. Wibble says pretty much all. I just said that. International Travel Channel is here. Guten Tag to you as well. OFG says, oops, I just bought 2 more grain plots. I know how that goes. It usually happens to me early in the morning. I get up and I'll check how the plots are doing, the prices, while I'm eating my cereal in the morning before I go to work. And then I'll be like, I got to grab that one. Karen says, I believe he streamed on YouTube too. Oh, nice. Then there should be a replay then. And Karen says, have closed captioning. OFG had replied to that. The stream went out on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. VODs are saved on YouTube and Twitch. Nice. Don friggin' Knotts is here. Welcome. Good morning to you as well. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this fine world. And OFG says, be consistent, especially with your time. Good advice. Bolt says, the volume is insane. I like it. He's meaning like on the land sales. OFG says, game volume is way loud. Oh no, I'm getting audio PTSD from my stream. Oh, something was wrong with the audio on your stream. I know how that goes. I'm trying to figure. I guess some people were talking about. Oh, I know. How could the game audio be loud? I've got it muted on my. Okay. Either way. Bolt said, "Stop yelling at me, Bronze." Lady Sharon says, I ran into the opposite problem on sound last night. Nobody could hear the sound, but when I played it on my phone, I could hear it. But I'm generally not behind in chat on Twitch. And OFG talks about trying to build his exemplar now. My exemplar... hey, Beaker. Thanks for dropping by. See, Beaker just joined us. My exemplar is still at... level 36. I need to, my next thing is going to be add another damage. Okay, there we go. I edited it. So now I'm up to 2 damage, but I've got poison and charge on it. So, and I wanted to have enough shield to take at least 1 hit. So I'm looking forward in chat, and I see Lady Sharon talking about gaming audio. I had muted it. Okay, I don't know. Gathering says, I rented some Gargoyle Lions for a plot. There is plenty of Gargoyle Lions, so the prices should have been nice. I haven't claimed my SPS today yet. Let me go ahead and do it. Oh, a new battle kicked in. Somebody had loaned me their Lux Vega. I'm sorry, I don't remember who did it, but thank you. It's been pretty nice using it. This is one of those cards I'd always wanted to buy, but just never got around to buying it. My brother bought one when it was brand new. It was like $600. Let's see how this fight goes down. Gathering says, I think people will need a lot of those potions to redo your exemplar when PvE goes live. You will need to change it for each boss. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ash. Something Ash potions. It's the Phoenix Ash. Phoenix Ash. Bolt says, Bronze Dragon, I am not about to scroll through 100+ cards just to select a card. I don't know what you mean there. Gathering says, stockpile now while cheap and no one wants them. Paul says, which region is Ravenwood? 133. Gathering just told him that. I like the sound of it. Doesn't look like I'm going to win this one. We'll see here. Sharon says, well, I'm hoping the concept for exemplars aren't going to be a one-on-one because I want to keep mine as support. I just haven't figured out how I want to do it yet. I don't think it's going to be one-on-one. Yeah, this guy beat me. Wu Lam in the Rising Sun. At least he's got his leveled a little bit. Okay, Lady Sharon goes on to say, a lot of people that I play in Frontier I've noticed have just a basic exemplar. Yeah, I don't think a lot. I mean, even in the higher end, there's a fair amount of people that just haven't done anything with it. This is level 12, but I've seen a lot of them just sitting at level 1, and that's okay, I guess. I mean, as of right now, there's not really anything you can do with them. My take on it is I just wanted to try out what was new in the game and kind of try to be prepared for the new changes. I think somebody else mentioned I'm really looking forward to the guild brawls being overhauled and the new stuff to that, because then bringing kind of like quote unquote boss battles and stuff like that to the campaign mode as well. I'm looking forward to that. So those are, as far as I know, where the exemplars are going to start being usable. I think there's people already doing tournaments that include them as well. So Lady Sharon says, a lot of people that I play in Frontier have noticed. Okay, just a generic example. That's Nate's region, 133. Yeah, that's the whole reason I went into 133, because I noticed Nate had a lot of property there. Let's look at the map. So these are where mine are kind of situated, but there seem to be a lot of plots over time. There's been a lot of land movement, and not extremely cheap, but a lot of land movement. So I've just been over time picking up plots that I've found to be a relatively decent. See, look at this. Plots are going, just common plots are going for $39 to $100. So, and in the other region I'm in, one of the other regions I'm in, let me look at the map here, 114, the plots have also stayed kind of pricey. We've got just a common grain plot, $30, but then it jumps up from $30 to 65 and then over 100, right? So yeah, I mean that's good though. I mean, that means that to me that means that the regions I picked, the land is staying of good value and going up. So I haven't heard Nate talk a whole lot about land though, and I don't know whether he's sold off a bunch of stuff. Who owns the castle in? Let's look at rarity, legendary plus, and land type, kingdom, castle. Jesterago owns the castle in this region. Turtle Lands, CJ Turtle Lands, Fighter for Freedom, DDZ, Immaculator, Hawks Gaming. Sorry if this is boring you. Bar again. I'm just looking at who has the keeps. Immaculator, Claudus. It seems to me that that Nate must have sold off some stuff. I don't know though. Why is it okay? So why is it not showing a keep in this region over here? There should be a keep in each little section of the region, except for there's not one showing in this one. Okay, either way, back to regular chat. I got off on a tangent there. Affliction says, check out Elmo Burns. What's that? What's Elmo Burns? Is that the one where it burns cards? Or one of the burns DEC? Oh, maybe maybe I shouldn't look up stuff on live on stream. Yeah, send me a link if you want me to check that out. Ryan Fleisch says, well, we'll see more upgrading exemplars once they have a cause other than some tourneys. Yeah, I agree. My Financial Journey says exemplars and avatars are mostly cosmetic. A lot of people don't care for cosmetics. And over time I've been like that, but I was just wanting to try out something new in the game. Anytime the game throws something new at me, and it's not really necessarily going to cost me out of pocket. I mean, it does cost the stuff that I've earned, as far as glint goes. For some reason, I just cannot remember that word glint. It does not stick in my mind. It's been in the game for over a year now. I just can't remember that name. Ryan Fleisch says mine are all at 0. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own, way they play the game. That's fine. I just wanted to be prepared, and I wanted to try out something new. People for my episodes are expecting me to try out everything that's new. And it didn't cost any money on my pocket, just cost glint. So, Lady Sharon says, "Yeah, the monster market is what I was thinking of because of the DEC. I have peak tokens, but you have to buy a bunch in a certain amount of time, and I haven't been able to convert those tokens. You can just take the peak monsters tokens and sell them off." And I was is anybody else having a problem loading tribal decks? Because I'm unable. Oh, here it goes. I was unable to log in earlier. I guess it's going to let me log in now. But either way, you can take the peak monster token over on tribal decks, and you can sell it off and sell it for Hive, and then just buy SPS or DEC, whatever you want. But I prefer just to have straight DEC. That's my preference. I do stuff on peak monsters, certain ratio from here to there, just to kind of keep supporting them a little bit, right? And I have been a member of their service off and on again over the years to help support them, because I think they put together a great page, and I still prefer it to what it looks like in the actual game, right? So Crypto Beaver says, I hope one day Splinterlands brings back daily rentals. Seasonals are too costly, especially when you need cards for tournaments and brawls. Also, dailies were nice to try out cards before buying. I agree. I agree. I liked to be able to only rent for a few days. I guess it was being abused or something or other. I don't know. I know that everybody did a vote on it and everybody voted for it. So I'm skipping forward in chat. Gathering says Splinterlands has a free-to-play mode to learn the game. Okay. Spark will be a new resource in Frontier, kind of like Glint. We'll be able to get cards, skins, and cosmetics. That's pretty sweet. Although I'm at this point where we don't need any new resources. I mean, it's becoming overwhelming. It's becoming overwhelming. They keep just adding new stuff and new stuff and new stuff and new stuff. And it's just, I like the idea of people playing Frontier mode being able to earn, I guess, what's called Spark now, and use it relatively like Glint. But the whole idea of Frontier mode, as far as I knew, was to try to get people from Frontier mode into playing Modern, right? So if you're setting people up more to just stay in Frontier, then they have no, what am I looking for? What word am I looking for? They have no need to go into Modern, right? So Bolt says Frontier exemplars are awesome. Supreme Victory Studio says, can I pet that dog? Oh, she'd let you. She is an older dog. She's getting up there. She has to have a tooth removed. $2,000. $2,000. Yeah. It's been a very expensive January for me. Bolt says, vote no on daily rentals. Just kidding. Would be nice. Ryan Fleisch says, yes, daily rentals. How else do you want to get people in that can't or don't want to play every day? The thing, I wasn't against daily rentals. From a personal play perspective, I didn't like having to go in and rent cards every single damn day and have people cancel rentals on me that I thought I was going to have, and then I turn around and depend upon having those certain cards and then having them taken out from underneath me. That's why I just buy my cards. I don't like the idea of depending upon other people. Now, I do like the idea of having the availability to rent my cards. In fact, there was a point in the game where I rented out my whole deck and just didn't even play because I was making more money off that. That's a long time ago in a land far, far away, though. And Supreme Victory Studios agrees with that, saying yes, they would like to see the return of daily rentals. Ryan Fleisch says, I would play today because I have time for it on Saturdays. Yeah, I have a little bit more extra time on Saturdays as well, although I have to spend it in preparation for the storm this week. I've got, just kind of off topic, something I'm doing this year. I'm doing a little bit of retro gaming. I ordered a PlayStation 3. Back in the day, I was an Xbox guy. Never got to experience some of the PlayStation only stuff. And so I'm going to dive back into a little bit of console gaming. So either way, my console just came in today. Ryan Fleisch says, but the way it is now, I just bought. Yeah, my main account, my secondary account are controlled by Archmage. And then most of what I do in the game is I do play my guild battles, and I keep up with those. And anybody who's new to the game, you need to get into the guild battles. They're getting ready to go through a transformation and be updated, but it definitely helps you get your feet planted further in the game, and it brings you forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing what ideas Matt has for bringing the guild brawls forward. I think they've just become a little bit boring, I guess. But you know what? Another thing I will say is my guild, like the guys in my guild, I've been in this guild since it was created. It's changed hands since then, but we are the top level now, and I don't perform very well at this. It's 5 stars. I perform pretty well in 4 stars, but once we went up to 5 stars, I'm just not performing well. I just don't have the deck to perform at 5 stars. So I'm putting some thought process into this. I like the people I'm with, Loving the Moon, some other guys that are top end of the game. I'm just not doing well at this level. So, but I am making a fair amount off of playing those brawls because each turn or each brawl set you get a bunch of SPS that goes to auto stake. So I forgot I was over here. I forgot to claim my SPS, and tomorrow I'll need to claim on my land. Lady Sharon says, "Oh, I got to do that? That's a whole other subject. I always pick the bronze or the frontier fray, but I have several cards up to level 3 and they're limited, so I might have to try a silver." Paul says, "What level was your exemplar?" I just went through that a little while ago. Have been doing a few levels each season to bulk it up. I'm just mainly going at it from trying to just create a cool card. I added poison and charge to it, and I added magic first, and then I added magic first before the thought occurred to me, hey, charge only applies to melee damage. So I have to go back and I have to, I just added an extra melee to it. I went into it wanting to know, I wanted a moderately fast card. I wanted a decent amount of health. And I wanted enough shield there to at least absorb one hit, right? So we'll see how it goes. I like it other than the too much headspace on the dwarf. Lady Sharon says, on the game audio, we were talking about that. I always mute my computer because I don't want to hear it, but people can actually cure OBS with broadcast the audio in your background, even if you have your speakers muted. It is true. I had my desktop audio up. I should turn that off by. It should be off by default, but I had it up, so that's the region. Daniel says, region 43, you say. I have a rare plot there if you are interested. Talking amongst other people. OFG says, your exemplar is awesome. Well, thank you. I was just trying to do something cool. Oh, you know what? Whenever I added that extra melee, it brought it up to an extra mana cost. So you know what I'm going to have to do next? I'm trying to keep the cost of this card down. I'm going to have to buy some more points to bring it back down to 8. I'll take a look at that after the after the show. Gathering says, rare jungle would be nice. Lady Sharon says, oh, I was just going to say, if you mute the tab itself, at least on Chrome, then it actually does mute. Yeah, I had it muted. Yeah, I don't know. Supreme says, I need more glint. Don't we all? Gathering says, I have one plot in 133, just not active. Yeah, I remember way back when we bought those. Don't you have like plot 1 in the zone or region? I'm thinking you have plot 1, don't you? People are probably tired of me talking about land. Oh. Hey, there's a plot Nate has. Yeah. So I thought for some reason you had like plot one. Corwin is here. Welcome, Corwin. Thanks for dropping by. Good afternoon, sir. May the snow gods be in our favor. Same back at you. Call out to popular movie. It's what we've been saying around work because everybody's been getting laid off. May the odds ever be in your favor. Gathering says Splinterlands has a free-to-play mode to learn the game. Frontier, never too late to join. This is true. Lady Sharon says, well, the thing is, I only have like, I don't know, 6 peak monster tokens that when I try to convert them to something that says I need to have enough to be $1 in Hive, I have it. So you can sell, you don't have to convert it. You can just sell it off to Hive, and then the Hive will sit in your wallet and you can use it to swap Hive. And then you can sell any of these tokens because I play a lot of Hive games, you know, and a lot of times I will, like Golem Overlord, I will take some of my tokens off my shard and part and sell them just for a lot of the games. I'll just sell the tokens on a certain on a weekly basis, a certain percentage, and then just dump them in my wallet as swap Hive. And then you can use a swap Hive to buy whatever you want, you know, usually DEC or SPS, and then just transfer them into game. You don't have to do, there's a lot of tokens that don't have a direct conversion to SPS or DEC. So they don't have swap pools, you know, so you can just still sell them off. So like, look at here. I like have 2.8 peak tokens. So I could go in and I could go ahead, and this is just the swap, or I could go in and where'd they go? Okay. Just do the trade. And I could go in here and look at the buy orders. And so there's a buy order with a bid of like this, and click on that. And then I could just go ahead and click on, I've got 2.8 peak monster tokens. Just click on the quantity. And then if I need to be under sell. Then if I sell, I would sell my 2.8 peak monster tokens and I would get 0.01 Hive. So no, a lot of these tokens don't go for a lot, but you get your Hive and then you can turn around and buy, you know, SPS or DEC with it. OFG says, I'll take your dog's tooth out for only $1,500. I was surprised with the cost. My wife knows that I guess I worry about money. Not that we're in a position, we're very blessed in that kind of regard. Not that I'm a rich guy, but I've got my bills paid. But she knows that whenever large costs come up in bills, she knows that I'm going to be worried about it. So she walks in from the vet and she's like, you don't even want to hear what this is going to cost. Okay, well, it's at the bottom of the hour, so I want to thank everyone for stopping by episode 145 of the Saturday Morning Stand-Ups. If you are in the path of this big winter storm here in the States, I wish you all the luck in the world. Stay healthy, and when you're out shoveling snow, be very aware of your body, because if you're, you know, in your 40s or 50s, even if you're in your 30s, you can get, this is the part of the year where people have a lot of heart attacks because they overwork themselves. So pay attention, because I want to see you at episode 146 of the Saturday Morning Stand-Up next week. So as always, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And hey, go out and buy that bread, milk, and toilet paper. I'll see you next week, and as always, I'll see you in Splinterlands.